Hi everyone, I'm Lauren Peel. I'm branch manager of the Mill Street office of Bay State Savings Bank and financial literacy coordinator. Thank you for joining us, and today we're going to be going over how to be a safe banker. So today we're going to start with a couple different topics. The first one is 7 ways to keep your account safe. We're going to go over 7 different things to look for and to be a part of when trying to keep your account safe. We're also going to be touching base on phishing, and it's not the kind using a phishing tool. We're going to be going over security questions and how they can be helpful, or they can deter you from wanting to keep your account safe. So let's make sure that we know what type of security questions to answer. We're going to go over social media, and it might not always be to your benefit, posting everything or answering questions. Identity theft, how things can happen to you and what you can do to prevent it. Unemployment, how unemployment fraud right now is super prominent, and how to avoid things like that and what to do if it did happen to you, and online dating scams. So let's get started. Here we have step 1 of keeping your account safe. Check, and recheck. I always tell everybody, check your account multiple times a day, whether it's using online banking, the mobile app, looking for your statement that you get in the mail, looking for your online banking statements that you get via email. Looking all these things multiple times a day is super helpful, and ways to be able to constantly remind yourself to look into detail to make sure nothing that you haven't done is happening. Not only checking online banking multiple times a day, but checking your statements that you get in the mail or that get emailed to you, comparing them to your online banking, comparing them to your people that still use check registers. Those are super important ways to be able to check, and recheck your account. It's the best way to monitor and make sure everything's going the right way. Step 2 is keeping your account safe with passwords. There's plenty of different ways to be able to try to keep your besides online banking, all different secure things safe by a secure password. So we have a couple tips here. By creating a strong online banking password, you can use different things like sentences, just to try to keep it a little bit different than, your name or your social security. Never use things like that. Change passwords often. When something prompts you to change it, keep it. Don't ever write things down. And all of these things should be all these passwords and PINs should be a secret. So that's something really big. You don't want to go writing it and leaving it in a drawer somewhere. You don't want to be telling other people. So just always keep those super important things in mind. Never conduct online banking on a public computer, and don't access or use sensitive information on public Wi-Fi networks. If you were to do something like this, it's easy for fraudsters to be able to hack you. So this is just some helpful tips and tricks to be able to keep all of your passwords and keep all of your account information safe. Step 3 for keeping your account safe, it's the phone and email usage. So never give information over the phone. As a branch manager, I've seen this time and time again. People get a call and they think that it's something really important. It could be a relative who needs something, or it could be someone who's saying that they owe them money for something. Never give information over the phone. If someone and you think it's real, you can always take their number, call them back later to try to investigate to make sure that you are doing the right thing. But we give advice to never, ever give information over the phone. Emails is something that fraudsters try to get into often. And if someone's sending you something with a link that you're able to click on, never open it. Especially if it's not something that you're expecting. If you're expecting information from your banker or somebody like that who's sending you a secure email, you'll be aware of that and you'll know that it's okay to open. But if other people are sending you things with links, please do not open them. It's a way for them to get into your computer and to scam you. So that's number 3. Moving on to number 4, ATMs. So everybody thinks, oh, ATMs are so great. It's a great way to access your money, and it absolutely is. However, you need to be super skeptical when at an ATM, and there's a couple of different things that I'm here to remind you of when you are using an ATM. So always check your surroundings. Make sure nobody's watching you. You can always check for skimmers by touching the ATM itself. So if you go to where you insert your card and you touch it and nothing falls off, then you're good. If something's falling off, then you need to go into that bank, take your card away, and something could be happening. But people set up different devices on ATMs to be able to access your account information. This can also happen at gas stations, drugstores, stuff like that. So it's a good thing to always just be mindful of, and always take your receipt. Taking your receipt is something that has some of your information on, and it's just easier to keep your identity and your account safe by keeping it with you. Step 5 in keeping your account safe is looking at the World Wide Web. So we all use the internet every day for a million different things. As I said before, don't click on links embedded in emails from people that you weren't expecting. Again, this is a way for people to be able to hack into your computer, hack into your accounts. Using a firewall or antivirus protection is always recommended. This is something that I'm not IT, but there are people at different places that can help you figure out what's best for your computer and what's best for your needs on your computer. But having antivirus protection is always recommended. And make sure that you're on secure connections to websites. And right here it has on the PowerPoint the HTTPS. This lets you know that the S is that the connection is secure. If you don't see that on the top of your screen when you're browsing the internet, then you would probably want to leave that site. But again, having different firewalls, protections, and just being aware of where you are online, and not clicking different links and different ads can be super helpful in keeping your account safe. So next we have step 6 of keeping your account safe, and it's act quickly if you've lost your debit cards, checks, or your account number. So call your bank immediately if any of these things happen. Actually, if you have the Bay State Savings Bank app, or a different bank has an app, you can sometimes go online and freeze your debit card for a short period of time. This is a really good way for it to be able to, think, okay, and maybe I dropped it in my car or something like that, and go run around and try to find it. If you can't find it, then call your bank immediately. By looking back, if we go back to that other first slide and said check, check, and recheck, this is a perfect example of why you would want to do that. If you lost a debit card, you lost your checks, you lost your account number, after you call your bank, you want to go back, look at your online banking, look at your statements to make sure nothing happened, no fraud was attempted. But the first thing to always do is call your bank. We're here to help you. We're here to walk you through the steps that you need to do. And sometimes it's a little hard if you're flustered and you've lost one of these really important things. So we're here to help, but always, always call your bank if you lose your debit card, checks, or account number. And number 7, to keep your account safe, is start shredding. So I tell my customers all the time, shred your documents, old checks, old documents, anything with your account number, anything with specific information, get rid of, shred it. Different banks, actually, like Bay State Savings Bank, offer shred days. You can call your local branch to figure out when a shred day is for you, but that allows customers of the bank to be able to bring documents, bags of things that need to be shred, that can be helpful if you don't have a shredder yourself. Another way to keep your account safe is by writing in blue ink. This is hard to replicate. Fraudsters are extremely good at figuring out ways to duplicate checks or edit checks that they might encounter. And writing in blue ink does minimize that. Minimize the number of checks you write in general is a really good way to keep your account safe as well. We have a ton of things like bill payments and online banking, online bill pay, all of those types of things are ways to minimize checks going out through the mail too. So that's something, and your local bank, like Bay State Savings Bank, can help you set all of that up to make it a little bit more safe for you. So moving on, phishing. Now, phishing is not out in a boat and using a pole when it has to do with banking. So what is phishing? Phishing is the fraudulent attempt to obtain sensitive information or data, such as usernames, passwords, or other sensitive details by impersonating someone at a trustworthy identity in digital communications. So what does that mean? That means someone who's pulling a scam to call you. That's someone who is trying to get into your computer, or someone trying to be you to get information, to be able to obtain more information on you to steal your identity. Not only can people steal your identity, they can steal your account information, they can hack your computers. It's all of those things, and that's exactly what phishing is. And it includes a call to action. So these are some examples here. You've won, click here. Or an ad pops up on Facebook that says, enter this and you'll win this. Another example is your software license is about to expire. Pay $300 for the license to be reinstalled. These are all ways that people try to attempt fraud on you, and that's what phishing is. So again, just be careful. Be skeptical when looking at things online. Be skeptical when giving your information. Don't give sensitive information to other people. Shred your things, all of those things that we've talked about to eliminate phishing altogether. And this is also continued. How can you prevent phishing? I mentioned before, but always be suspicious. Delete suspicious emails, delete emails that you're unaware of, that have links, that have embed attachments. Never give personal information to people that you don't know. Don't click on the ads or pop-ups that happen on social media or online. There is what's called, so if you look at this, it says use multi-factor authentication on your accounts. So this is something that different things are starting to require now. That say you needed to log into a specific program, it would say, okay, we're going to put your cell phone number in, or we're going to contact you through your cell phone, and you're going to put this code in to be able to continue. These are really good ways, and there's also different ways that you can find to be able to install these things for different apps and such, to really authenticate that you are you, so that they have to email your personal email or call your personal cell phone or text your personal cell phone to be able to actually get into whatever program it is. So multi-factor authentication is one of the up-and-coming really cool things to consider with security. And then again, use security software on your computer and on your phone, and you can have certain people help you figure out what's best for your computers to be able to help you install and such. So that is phishing. Moving on, be safe, not sorry. So security questions. This is something that I've heard a couple different things about previously, but don't use the same questions and answers for all of your features. For example, you have 4 different accounts and you log into one at Bay State, and then you log into one for your car loan, and then you log into one for your credit card. Don't use all of the same security questions and passwords, because that's just easier for somebody to guess and then to be able to access all those types of things. As I said earlier, figuring out a good password is super important. And here's an example. It says, shortened sentences make excellent passwords. For example, I love dogs, exclamation point. This is something that is super helpful, and it deters fraudsters to be able to get into other things because they can't guess something like that. So it makes it a little bit more difficult, and it might make it a little bit easier for you to remember a sentence. Again, utilize trustworthy password manager apps that store passwords, have encrypted databases, and never write your passwords down is super important. We preach that all the time in the branch, but that's just something to really, really remember. Social media. This is one of my favorite topics when it comes to safe banking. Social media has quizzes all the time. Have you ever seen them? They say, pick this, this, and this, and you'll figure out what bird you are, or different types of social media quizzes and stuff like this. They are not harmless. They actually are trying to figure out more information about you, which is called social engineering. It's a giant place. All social media is a giant place for people to be able to look at those quizzes and figure out more information about you, to be able to then obtain different information to log into this, and this. Be super careful. You think they're harmless, and it would be wonderful if they were. I think they once were, but now it's just another way for social engineering fraudsters to be able to access your personal information. So be careful with social media. Identity theft. So I know that through the senior center, a lot of people have done different things for identity theft. So I'm just going to briefly touch on this, is that identity theft identity thieves are just trying to take your information, and they'll do just about anything to get it, such as dumpster diving, stealing your wallet, diverting your mail, grabbing your mail, doing things over the internet like the social media quizzes and stuff like that, and intercepting on phone calls and different things like that. If identity theft happens to you, just be careful, call people, freeze your accounts. We'll go into that a little bit more. Unemployment fraud is also huge right now. Since COVID-19 has hit, it's the biggest type of fraud that we've seen in banking. And what really it is people taking other people's information and filing unemployment on somebody else. It's illegal. And if this happens to you or anybody you know, you can report it at mass.gov. So just be careful. And this, dating scams. He loves me, he loves me not. This is something that I've seen multiple times happen as a branch manager at Bay State Savings Bank. And this is people finding love online and sending money, whether it be wiring, taking cash out, purchasing gift cards, doing all of that stuff. If somebody is online and they're asking you to send them money before you've ever met them in person, to help with something, be very, very skeptical. Don't do it, because it is a scam. Oftentimes you will never get your money back. And it's just a way for people to steal from you. So be super careful with online dating scams. Yes. And this is if you're a victim of fraud. Again, I know that everybody at the senior center has done other things about fraud and victims of fraud, but I just want you all to see here that at Bay State Savings Bank, we take it very personally. Contact us or contact your local bank immediately if something like this is happening to you. You also should file a police report, change all of your passwords, call credit cards, financial institutions to let them know that you've been a victim of identity theft. And you can always consider placing a security freeze on your credit by calling these 3 bureaus below: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. These different credit bureaus will be able to freeze your credit so that nobody can take out any credit on your behalf. And that is it for today. If anybody has any questions, I'd be more than happy to go over anything else in detail with you. Again, my name is Lauren Peel. I am the branch manager of the Mill Street office of Bay State Savings Bank and Financial Literacy Coordinator. And I hope you all enjoyed our Safe Banking seminar. Thank you.